Now by Sherelle Bird with Sawika Rising. Sherelle, thank you so much for joining us. We're talking about something that kind of sparked up in the newsroom, and that is the original Juneteenth colors. And we actually just learned here for us that they were red, white, and blue. But kind of explain to us how over time those colors changed.
Well, actually, the colors have not changed. So they're actually two separate flags, and I can share a little bit of history about the two of them. So there's an actual Juneteenth flag, which is the accepted official flag of Juneteenth. And so that's the red, white, and blue flag that you'll see. It's blue at the top, it has a red arc, and then there's a star in the middle. It's actually a 5-point star in the middle that represents Texas, and then there's a bursting star around it. So that flag was created actually in 1997 by a gentleman by the name of Ben Haith, who's also credited as being the creator of the National Juneteenth Observance. He created his own National Juneteenth Observance. And so he created this flag specifically for Juneteenth to recognize two things. One, the emancipation as it happened in Galveston, Texas, which was that actual last point in which people learned that they were free, was Galveston or around Galveston, Texas area. But it also symbolizes that the enslaved Africans once freed were officially American. So we're very much American. That is our nationality. And so that is why the flag is red, white, and blue. There's a separate flag, which is the Pan-African flag. And that flag has the colors of red, which again symbolizes blood. The same as in the Juneteenth flag, the red represents the blood of the African people that has been shed. Black represents the African people, our skin, and then the green represents the land, which it indicates the motherland, so the lush green of the motherland. But the Pan-African flag actually is representative of the entire African diaspora. So this flag you can see in many other countries outside of America. It's also used in many other African American observances. So in addition to Juneteenth, you'll also see the Pan-African flag during Kwanzaa or doing any kind of protests or rallies or any observances of African American history. You'll see it quite often during Black History Month as well. So while you'll see the Pan-African flag all over the world, the Juneteenth flag is limited to America because Juneteenth is an American holiday. So that's the distinction between the two. And then also I'll emphasize as well that the Juneteenth flag specifically focuses on emancipation and freedom. And the Pan-African flag focuses on liberation. And so while one marks the beginning of freedom for enslaved Africans in America, the Pan-African flag represents our striving constantly towards liberation, which is something we still have yet to achieve as Africans across the world.
And so I guess that kind of explains why we see lots of even event flyers and T-shirts with the colors of red, black, and green instead of the red, white, and blue. But can you kind of talk to that?
Absolutely. So we know that Juneteenth actually officially became a federal holiday in this country in 2020. And so before 2020, there were not a lot of observances in the country around Juneteenth. So people still continue to celebrate Juneteenth in community ways. And so it's always been for the Black community by the Black community. Now, and so people would always use the colors of the Pan-African flag in any African American observance. Those colors are always going to be widely seen. So you'll see, like I'm wearing today, jewelry, shirts, and all of those things that still are in the Pan-African colors because those are the widely known colors of African people across the world. However, now that Juneteenth has been accepted and adopted as a federal holiday, there is an official flag that actually America is beginning to adopt as well. So you'll see many cities, many counties, many government agencies that are now flying the Juneteenth flag, which may actually one day become adopted as the official flag by this country, which not yet has happened yet, but will hopefully one day be adopted as the official flag by this country of the Juneteenth celebration.
Yeah, so again, if you can kind of emphasize why we don't want to, get away from the red, white, and blue colors, why those are also significant for celebrating Juneteenth as well.
Sure. So the reason why Mr. Haith, who was the designer of this flag, wanted to ensure that red, white, and blue were a part of the Juneteenth flag is because it symbolizes in this country that once the enslaved Africans received the notice that they were free, that officially made them American. And so it definitely emphasizes to people all over this country that African Americans are very much American. We are patriots of this country. That is our nationality. As we move throughout the world, we will always and forever be considered American. So this is a part of our history. Juneteenth is a part of the American story. And that's something that needs to be widely taught in our schools as well. As they see this flag, recognize that this is inextricably a part of the fabric of America and of history in our country as we know it. And so, yeah, we're very much American and we're very proud of our country despite its flaws, despite its at times very challenging history. Africans in this country, if you were a part of the enslaved people that are descendants of enslaved Africans, you are very much a part of American America as we know it.
Gotcha. And I guess we'll kind of wrap here. Do you oftentimes come up to people and they not know the original colors of Juneteenth or the Juneteenth flag as well?
Yeah, and so what's interesting, I actually was just talking to my mom, and she was like, "I didn't know there was a Juneteenth flag," and so people are still learning a lot about this celebration and its observance, which is great. That's what we want to see more of, because again, before 2020, this was something that was a small. It wasn't as widely practiced in our country, and so now that it's been made official holiday, you're seeing more city and county governments that are adopting it, that are putting funding towards these observances and celebrations. Now people are starting to see and recognize the symbols and the symbolism of what Juneteenth actually means. And so I'm excited to see that. We'll hopefully see that grow over the years and that people will begin to embrace this as one of our country's official federal holidays.
All right, sounds good. Sherelle Bird, thank you so much for joining us and giving us some insight and educating us. The more you know, we do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.